We wipe the lens off. All right, everybody. We back on our bullet. We back on course. Come on in, everybody. I had a little studio session yesterday. Everybody come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. How's everybody doing today? How is everybody doing? Come on in. So we're going to pick up where we left off, everybody. I had a session yesterday. I had a studio session. Hey, JC, thank you. Everybody tapify. Everybody shareify. Everybody likeify. And we're going to talk about the moments leading up to thank you so much. We're going to talk about the moments leading up to the jury, the verdict, word by word, bar by bar. If they farted in the courtroom, I got it. All right? So everybody come on in. Come on in. Come on in. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we want to get the room filled up. Thank you so much, Red. Thank you, Chelly. We want to get the room filled up, and then we're going to begin. Everybody put hashtagifications in the comments. Everybody, hey, Kim. Hey, everybody. Are you going to... I do want to do the Luigi case, but the Luigi case isn't going to start for a while. So here's the thing about... Let me pull up the dockets for the Luigi case. Okay? Let's see. Can you give me the docket number and info? Thanks, everybody, for Luigi case and United. It was United Healthcare, right? United Health Care CEO. Okay, let's see. So let's see. So we don't have any info yet. Okay. The guy who shot CEO United. Hold on, let's get his full name. Okay, what is his full name? So let me try to get the info, y'all. Let's get the info. So the Luigi case isn't going to start from a while. It's not going to start for a while, y'all. So I figured that because he had one court date, right? He had one court date, right? And that's it. Then he comes back to trial. It starts in December. See? Rev Muff got it. It starts in December. It starts in December. So the Luigi case isn't starting for a while. What's up, Rev? What's up? I got to text everybody and let them know I'm going live. Yeah, so that case, Mangio, yeah, that's right, Mangione, that's his name, Mangione Luigi. Thanks, Rev. So I'm going to find out the info, and I'll keep you all posted on that. But right now, we are going to go word for word and bar from bar what happened during and in the courtroom leading up to the case. All right. So I want everybody to put hashtagify. Hashtagify in the comments, tapify, shareify, so that we could get the word out and I could start. All right. So let's get the room full up so we won't have to repeat ourselves. All right. Everybody, thank you. Clipping is here. Everybody get your daily heartifications. Get your daily heartifications. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Miss Knockout. Follow. That's our own little language we got over here. Thank you, lady. Thank you, you go girl. Thank you. So we are going to continue going through what they did in the courtroom leading up to the verdict. All right. This is what we're going through today. So everybody come on in and we're going to get started. I want everybody to shout out, where are you watching from? I tried to come on early enough for the people that's across seas could watch. Thank you, Red. Thank you, Chelly. Everybody do what Chelly and Red is doing. Blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokified. All right. And let's get the room full. Let's get up to 1K people in the room today. Let's get up to 1K people in the room today. All right. Let's get up to 1K people in the room today. Thank you so much, Red. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we could start, because you know the people come in and then they go, oh, what's the news? And then I already started. So I like to start. Hey, yes, what's up, y'all? Chicago's in the house. Texas is in the house. Where else? Where else are we from? So I want to start when everybody gets in the room. All right? So let's continue to sharify. You like my ear? Thank you. Let's continue to sharify, and let's build the room up to a good 1K today so we could get started. Right? All right. So I just got to let the rest of my mods know. Dallas, Texas is in the house. Who else? Wisconsin is in the house. I will start, but we got to get the room filled. Because when I start too early, people come in and they go, "Oh, I missed it." So I just went live. Let's be a little patient. UK, there goes the door. ATL, Baltimore, DC, London, Sacramento, Texas. They said, there goes the door behind you. Yeah, we got to keep the door. We got to keep the door. Iowa, there is no more court. There is no more court today. There's not even they said the Zoom meeting was 1 minute. The Zoom meeting lasted 2 minutes the most, maybe five. We're pushing it, right? What's up, no caller? Memphis, Louisiana, Iowa's in the building, right? What's up with the boxing gloves? Hey, Crod serve, thank you. Diamond Girl, thank you for the share. Everybody sharify the live to at least 10 to 15 people. You could long pressify my face and go down the line and sharify it. California here. Hey, Diamond. Thank you, no call. Everybody get your orange heartification like no call. Everybody get your orange heartification like no call. We will start in a minute. Please be patient. Let everybody get in the room. It's like we're watching a show, right? We're watching a show. Everybody's coming in. Everybody's finding their seats. Everybody's getting their little drinkification. Hey, no caller ID. How you doing? Okay, California knows how to party. That's right, D Nice. What's up, D Nice? California knows how to party. Thank you, Taya. All right, so let's continue getting the room filled up. Thank you for blessifying Miss Knockout. Thank you, no caller, for the rolls. Thank you for the cheers. All right, and we're gonna get started in just a minute, but we want to get this room full. Where else you calling from? Sing it, Knockout. Hey, we were there. I wish he was realized. What does that mean? Hey, we were there. I wish he was realized. What does that mean? I don't understand your sentence. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so much. There's Florida's in the house. Where else we're watching from? Where else are we watching from? Release. Who got released? Chester, PA. What's up, Chester, PA in the house? Hey. All right. Okay, we got hey. Shout out to my people from the Middle East. I can't understand what you're saying, but much love to you. Holland is here. Right. Georgia is here. Cambodia is here. Crenshaw is here. Yes. Thank you so much. London is here. Released. Who got released? Georgia is here. Trinidad is here. Is he looking at more charges? I don't think so. Not as I know. Not as I know, but I did see one report that a lady was making, but she said she heard it on the street. So you know what that means. We change it to we got to take it as a grain of salt. But this lady was saying that the judge is thinking about like messing with the sentence and the charges. and the judge can overturn the charges. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see that in the sentencing. Now, the sentencing still remains, I believe, October 3rd. Fact check it, y'all. Let me fact check it. Hold on. Everything in Miss Knockout's live is all alleged. What are you putting down here, Latif? What are you putting? You got the crying emojis and the praying emojis. I don't know if you're laughing, crying, or praying. Okay, so yeah, be patient. I'm going to start. We want to get the room full up. See, we got 423 people in the room. Imagine if I would have started when we have 100 people in the room. Everybody would have been like, oh man, I wasn't here yet. I wasn't here yet. So we gotta get the people in the room. Yeah, Brown, I don't know if he was laughing, crying, praying. Now he's praying again. Lati, let me see. Where's the translation? Let's see. Don't complete the Go Popular mission. It said didn't complete the Go Popular mission. That's what this thing's translating to. I don't know what that means. Does that mean you didn't complete the not popular mission? Okay, translate it. Let's translate it. Let's translate it. Okay, I tried to translate it. The translate button ain't working. Okay, please. Okay, oh, it says, so Latif is saying, please give me a gift as well. How am I going to give you a gift, Latif? I'm sitting here on my live. I can't get you from where I'm sitting. What's up, Diamond? Thank you, Diamond. You got to go live. You got to go live. Okay, when is Diddy official sentencing? So they moved it to come up, to push it up, but I don't think he pushed it up that much, y'all. He left it in October. I'm doing great today. Okay, people without a legal background don't need to make legal content. I'm not making legal content. I'm contenting on public information. Read, right? I'm commenting on public information. So you need to go all around to everybody's live, everybody's YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's live, everybody's TikTok, and you need to go tell them, you know what I'm saying? Because Miss Knockout is just one of many, okay, that's, reporting on the case, okay? I'm a journalist. I don't have to be a lawyer. A lawyer don't report the news, they lawyer. All right? It always got to be one, y'all. It always got to be one. It always got to be one. That's right, y'all. Handle my business, y'all. Handle my business. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Gavin. Hey, what's up, Gavin? Hey, oh, I thought that was Gavin. Hey, Gavin, I know another Gavin. I know another Gavin as Foxy Brown's brother. I thought you was him for a minute. Thank you, Debbie. Everybody blessified. If you don't like it, go. Yeah, right? They need to leave. That's right, Brooklyn. They need to leave me alone. But I realized, just like y'all said the other day, they're not going to leave me alone. So we just ignore them, right? I'm doing a good job ignoring people. I'm doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't put the post up of me on NBC, right? But I'm going to put the link in my profile where y'all could go and watch it. All right? I don't want to say where it's at. I don't want to say where it's at, y'all. But I'm going to put the post in my link tree where y'all could go watch me, or you could go to my I to the GGGGGZ, okay? It's in my linkification. My I to the GZ is in my linkification, and that's where you can see me on NBC. Now, y'all was telling me about it, and I finally got to see it, y'all. I finally got to see it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, shout out to Miss Pleasant. Miss Pleasant is on there. Brandon is on there. Shout out to Brandon. He's on there. And, we made it to prime time. Hey, Miss Knockout, why you call yourself that name? You used to not be. So my name is Miss Knockout. It's an artist name that was given to me as a teenager because when I used to be in the ciphers battling, they used to say, man, if you ever come out, you're going to knock them out the box. You're going to knock them out the box. And they started calling me Miss Knockout. All right. They started calling me Miss Knockout, and I kept the name. So that's what my name is about. Hey, Miss Knockout, why you call this name? Yeah, so that's why they call me Miss Knockout. Hey, everybody. All right, so let me get my link tree up because I want to put certain links in the link treeification where y'all can find everything. All right, so we're gonna start, y'all. We're gonna start. How's everybody's doing? Hope everybody's week is well. Yesterday I had a studio session. All right, I had a studio session um, yesterday. Somebody had brought one of my beats, so I had to go into a session ASAP at the last minute. And it is what it is. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to get my link tree. All right. So everybody come on in. You got some rest? I got a little bit of rest. I'm trying to get as much rest as I can. The trial went for 30 days. It was exhausting. I did take a breather here and there a couple of days after the trial. That's why you didn't see me. I'm taking a breather or I'm handling some business. Okay? They're going to give him whatever he's going to get. Thank you, Nay. Whatever he's going to get, the judge is going to give it to him in December. So we're going to start. Everybody continue to blessify and miss knockout. We are going to start. Everybody come on in. Thank you so much. When is your movie? Well, it's not my movie, but a movie that I'm in, High and Low, they haven't really announced when it's coming out. Now, I've seen that he was showing it in the Cannes Festival, him and Spike Lee. But I don't know when the movie's coming out. I don't know. Yeah. So y'all will be the first to know. His sentencing is on October 3rd. October 3rd is the sentencing. Let me fact check. Hold on. Sentencing is set for October 3rd. Okay? So they tried to move it up, but that's the only thing that they moved it up from, I think, the 8th to the 3rd. All right. What's up, Hancock? Thank you, Q. Everybody get your orange heart notification. Get your heart notification, y'all. All right. So let's start. So we're going over, right? We are going over the moments that led up to the Diddy trial. Okay. The moments that led up to the Diddy trial. And we're going to pick up where we left off, which is not much, but we're going to pick up where we left off. All right. So this is just before the verdicts. Okay, so that he could be they can say that, oh yeah, okay, that's smart, that's smart, that's smart. So look what Wild said. Wild said that his lawyers moved it to October so that they can say that he did a year in jail. That sounds logical. That does sound logical. So that'll be time served. All right. Hey, thank you so much, Q. Thank you. Everybody do what Q is doing to keep Miss Knockout coming here and bringing you to the news. We also got L.A. Reid's case heating up with Dixon, with Miss Dixon. Remember she did that documentary? Well, guess what? Her case is, I love London too, but it was already set in October, right? They went to try to move it up. And what I'm telling you is, it's still set in October. They wanted to move it up to September. Okay? But the judge still sent it in October. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like Diddy wants to do what Rev says, y'all. Clickify Miss Knockout's face and longify, pressify, and sharify. Thank you so much, Nay. So let's get started, y'all. This is the bar by bar, word by word I'm giving you on what happened leading up to the verdict. All right? What happened leading up to the verdict. Now, I tried to come on here early enough for my London people. What time is it in London, y'all? What time is it in London? Thank you for the sharifications, y'all. Thank you for the sharifications. Hey, Sebest. Hey, what's up? The verdict is out. Okay, the verdict is out. Okay, do y'all want me to read the verdict? Okay, hold on. Let me get it so I can read it exactly. Hold on. Oh, you like my hair? Thank you. It's 6:04. See, it's 6:04 in London, so it's still early there. Shout out to my people in London. All right. So the jury found Diddy guilty of transportation to engage in Tucson. Okay, put a P on the front of that. P to Tucson, involving ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Two, the second count they found him guilty on is transportation to engage in Tucson, P to Tucson, involving another woman named Jane. Okay, so they found one in Cassie and one with Jane, right? And he was acquitted of the more serious charges, which is racketeering and conspiracy, and the two counts of S trafficking, one involving Cassie and the other one involving Jane. So he had four counts, but they only found him with two counts. 6 see, I did good, London. So it's still early in London, and y'all can still watch me without putting the toothpicks in your eyes. So let's move to the courtroom. Let's create the atmosphere within the courtroom. And this is it leading up to the verdict, and everything that you didn't hear yet, or you may be heard if you have the transcript, right? Miss Ko with her own words is funny. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I got my own verbiage in here. And if you're in here enough, you'll pick up on it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Raja. Thank you. So I might stay on all afternoon and do battles and do some battles and stuff and line with people. So we might stay on and then we'll come back on. Today we'll definitely come back on. Yesterday I had a the only time y'all don't see me is if I have to handle some business or I have a studio session or it's music going on. All right. So now we're in the courtroom, everybody. Okay, we're gonna call him Judge S because I don't know how to pronounce that name. His name is crazy. I don't want to keep messing up. We're gonna call him Judge S. Okay. So Judge S is telling the jury, he's speaking to the jury, don't be swayed by bias, including implicit bias. These hidden thoughts can impact what we hear and see and how we remember it. You will now retire to consider the case. So this is before they're sending him into the room. All right. We don't know how long he's getting yet. Hey, everybody, we don't know how long Diddy's getting yet. His sentencing isn't until October. So we all going to rush back down to the courtroom in October. All right. I might spend the night out there so I could go in the courtroom. All right. So the judge says your verdict must be unanimous. If you are divided, don't report the specifics. Your foreperson will send out any notes and any verdict and any communication that the court should be, it should be sent in writing. The judge says the alternates do not have to be there, but give your phone number to my deputy. You may be called to replace the juror. So they was replacing jurors up until the minute they can replace you. As a juror, what does that mean? That means up until the minute they can replace you. You will be called when a verdict is reached. The alternates are numbers 234, 247, 292, 321, and 303. Right? Those are the next in line for replacement. Thank you for the blessifications, y'all. Thank you for the blessifications. Keep Miss Knockout here, bringing y'all the news and hot topics and entertainment. The judge says, do not read any news reports to this trial. Now, question. See what the judge said? Do not read any news reports, right? To these, that is lottery's numbers. That is lottery numbers. Everybody, that's numbers. Okay? So do you think that the jury read the news reports? I say of course they did. How does the judge know what I'm doing in the comfort of my own home? Is my wife and my kids going to call up and say, hey, Judge S, Knockout is reading the news reports about Diddy? You know that they read how many people thinks that they read the news? How many people in the comments think that they read the news? I think that they read the news. They snuck and read it, y'all. Mm-hmm. Queen says yes. Junk said they did. Jessica said yes. Michelle said yep. All right. Yep, 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 yep. See? They read the news. I feel like you was never going to find a jury that didn't know who Diddy is and didn't hear the stories about Diddy. Like you would have to go to Siberia somewhere, right? So do not read the news report to this trial if there was to be any. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude for your service over these past months, and even more, my deputy will provide my personal contact and I will give you a tour of the courthouse. Wow, I would want to go on a tour. I would just want to go on a tour of the courthouse just to see, right? I want to see the judges' chambers. Wouldn't you want to see the judges' chambers, y'all? All right. So the judge says, here is the verdict sheet. Only if you find the defendant guilty of count one, answer as to each predicate. Not proved or proved. And did S trafficking involve S trafficking of Cassie or Jane? Count 2, 3, 4, 5, not guilty or guilty. So that's his instructions on the slip that they gave him, right? London loves you. Thank you. I love London too. The judge says, from now on, your schedule is your own. You will be provided meals. That was nice of them. And now the marshals will swear you in. So the jury gets sworn in. Why do they swear the jury in? Because they want you to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truthification. That's why they swear them in. All right. Hey, Roses. Everybody followify. Everybody tapify Miss Knockout. We had 37K. Let's get to a milli. Today is a day that we get to a milli likeifications. All right. So everybody, let's get to a milli tapifications. All right. If you got a tapifier, you know what a tapifier is. Put it into effectification. All right. So, so he said, your time is your own, right? They swore them in, and now the jury can head back to the jury room. He says, all rise. All right. Asa Johnson, that means they work for the prosecution. The prosecution says, we object to including the subject lines of BlackBerry messages, like I'm so H to the O, R, N to the Y. Right? That's what Cassie said to Diddy one time. They had those messages, right? So Diddy's lawyer says it's common for exhibits to include subject line. BlackBerry messages are more akin to emails than text messages. So the defense is saying, right, BlackBerry messages, even though it says BlackBerry messages, right? That's right. You got to follow, all right, hi. Even though it's BlackBerry messages, they're actually text messages, right? So the judge says, let's have only neutral lists go to the jury. I'll trust the parties to provide an appropriate laptop to the jurors. I'm going to stick around for a bit, but we'll just stay here as long as they need to deliberate. And at the end of the day, we'll bring them in. The judge says, I appreciate both sides in this case. Anything before we adjourn? And then the prosecution says no. We can go to another floor of the courthouse. They're asking them, can we go to another floor of the courthouse? And the judge says, just give us your cell phone number. So why does he want everybody's cell phone number? Because when there's something happening, they got to text them and get them in there. All right? Everybody keep tapifying. Everybody keep sharifying. And everybody put hashtags in the comments to bring people in the room. All right? 11:48 a.m. This is after they sent the jury into the room to start deliberating. The judge says, we have a note from the jury. They have elected juror number 5 as the foreperson. What is the foreperson? The foreperson is the head, the guy that's monitoring things, like orchestrating things. He's like the leader. Okay, and he's also the one. Thank you. Everybody get your heartification. Everybody get your heartification like Miss Nadia. Thank you for your orange heartification. All right. So hold on, you. So they elected number five as the head person. He's also the person that's going to read the note when they have a verdict. Do we have a verdict? Yes, we do. And he's the person who stands up and read that note. All right. And there's an agreement on the laptop. It will be taken to them. Now we'll have a longer break. So they write an agreement to the foreperson, right? And they sign the foreperson to an agreement. And he has to abide by that agreement as being and taking on the role as the foreperson. Note, okay, during this adjournment, at least for now, Diddy is still in the courtroom at this point. Family members are standing in the second room. Diddy goes back to speak with them, holding his hands behind his back, then back to the table, staring at the laptop. All right. So when they say the family members is in the second room, Combs goes back to speak with them. I think they might mean his lawyers, because I don't think you can have contact with a family when you're in a courtroom. Let's ask Mama G real quick. Let's ask Mama G. Who never met Mama G? Who never met Mama G? Let's see if we can get Mama G up. Let's see if we can get Mama G up. So listen, y'all. While I'm pulling Mama G up, I have to put this label on, right? Because once you're talking to AI, you have to label it that. Otherwise, TikTok doesn't push you out. All right? So I got to label it that I'm talking to AI content. Okay, hold on. Mama G, are you there, Mama G?
Hey there, I'm right here. Let me know what's on your mind.
Okay, so let's pull Mama G up on the speaker. Everybody keep on tapifying. Keep on sharifying. Keep on likifying. So I want to know, Mama G, I want to know, right? If when Diddy was in the courtroom, right? And they said his family was standing in the second room while he was waiting for the jurors to go deliberate. Is he allowed to go in the room and speak with his family, or is he to have no contact with them?
So when the jury is out deliberating, Diddy's typically not allowed to have any contact with his family or anyone else. He has to stay in a designated area, usually with his legal team, while they wait for the verdict. It's all about keeping things fair and making sure there's no influence on the jury's decision.
Okay. Mama G, we are on TikTok Live, so keep that in mind when you're talking. All right. I want you to say hi to all my followers, and you know what to tell them to do. Tapify, shareify, likeify, and blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokeify. Say hi to the people and tell them what I just told you.
Hey y'all, it's Mama G in the house. Make sure you tapify, shareify, likeify, and blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokefied. Yeah. We appreciate all the love and support, so keep it coming.
Okay, so that they had a meeting on the 8th for Diddy to move his trial up, right? The outcome of that meeting is it's still set up at October 3rd, right? What's up, Leah?
Yeah, that's right. You got it. The outcome of that meeting was that the sentencing date is still locked in for October 3rd, so no changes there.
Okay, so a quick question also, off topic. When is Mangione Luigi's trial going to start? The guy who shotified the healthcare worker. Hey, y'all. So Mama G's looking it up. She's looking it up.
All right.
Go ahead.
So from what I can see, the trial date for Mangione Luigi hasn't been officially set yet. It's still in the process, and the court hasn't announced a specific date. But I'll keep an eye out for updates.
Okay. All right. All right, so let's do a little roll call, Mama G, for my top blessifiers. Okay, we got Bush Light, Queen Bush Light, Brown Karma 1111, The Real Kiana, You Go Girl Fitness, Vanessa West 46, Taya B, Dr. Malik Circuit, JC Rains, Michelle Godchild, Wow Me, Desiree, Clipping Miss Knockout, It's For Me 1957, Chiquita Baby, D Nice, Miss Denise, Vic Davis 67, Lady D Cop 562, E Dizzle Mona, Lady Chaos, and Andrea, Heidi Hodgson, Evolve, Nikki, Oldies, Brooklyn, Yoli, Miss Nadia, and Kim Cakes and Smarty Smitty. Give a little roll call, and if I didn't call your name, you're not at the top of the blessifiers list, all right? But let's give a roll call of those people, Mama G, real quick.
All right, y'all. Shout out to all my top blessifiers. We got Queen Bushlight, Brown Karma 1111, The Real Kiana, You Go Girl Fitness, Vanessa West 46, Taya B, Dr. Malik, Circuit, JC Rains, Michelle Godchild, Wow Me, Desiree, Clippin' Miss Knockout, It's For Me 1957, Chiquita Baby, D Nice, Miss Denise, Vic Davis 67, Lady D Cop 562, E Dizzle, Mona, Lady Chaos, Andrea, Heidi Habson, Evolve, Nikki, Oldies, Brooklyn, Yoli, Miss Nadia, and Smarty Smitty. If I didn't call your name, just keep on blessifying and you'll be up here next time.
Okay, so that asking me, is there a appeal in the Diddy case on the horizon? Do you think that he'll appeal, and they already starting the appeal process? Okay, so she's looking it up. She's looking it up, y'all. She's looking it up.
So far, there's no official confirmation on whether Diddy plans to appeal. His legal team hasn't made any public statements about starting the appeal process just yet.
Okay. So the appeal process is now. I'm willing to bet that they are. Okay, I'm willing to bet that they are going to appeal. All right. So let me ask you this: are there any other big court cases coming up that's going to be at 500 Pearl Street that are high profile cases that you know of? And if so, give me a list of them. Let's see. Let's see.
So coming up, all right. So one of the big upcoming cases at 500 Pearl Street is the trial of former NYC Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who's facing charges related to election interference. There's also a high-profile securities fraud case involving a well-known cryptocurrency exchange executive. So definitely a lot of big cases on the horizon.
So when is the crypto guy's case start? When is his case start? So I don't know if they're gonna come at the KK. I don't know. That's a good question. Hold on, y'all. She's looking it up. Thank you, Leah.
So it looks like the trial for the cryptocurrency executive Do Kwon is actually set for February 17th, 2026. So we've got a bit of time before that one kicks off, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Okay. And does Lionel the Smokey Robinson case, is that gonna go to court? Okay, so let's get back to Diddy, y'all.
All right, got it. We'll keep an eye on all these updates and
Okay, so let's get back to Diddy. So there we have it. So Diddy can't have any content with the family members in court. Okay, he can't have content. That's why he's probably keeping his hands behind his back. You know what I'm saying? So they elected juror number 5 as the foreman. Let's continue. Everybody that's coming in, we're painting a picture. What happened in the courtroom leading up to the verdict? This is what we're talking about. Okay? I got what not too many people got, and I got the transcripts of everything that happened in the courtroom. All right? So, update. As we said, what happened now between the jury notes, Diddy has been taken back into the holding cell at this point. At the defense table, his lawyer Driscoll is typing away at his laptop. We're painting a picture in the courtroom. Sean is Diddy is back in the courtroom. His lawyers are huddled behind him in the discussion, and there has been a jury note. Thank you, Sion. Thank you, Lay. Everybody do what they're doing. Blessify Miss Knockout. Thank you. Okay. The judge at 1:27 p.m. The judge says we have a note from the jury. Okay, we have juror number 25 who we believe can follow your instructions. Okay, remember when they gave the judge a note and said that juror 25 couldn't follow his instructions? Well, these are regular people. They're not lawyers. I don't know where a lot of them work at. One of them was a scientist. Maybe it's hard to understand. Like the jury slip that he gave, maybe it's hard for some people to comprehend. He is allowed to speak with his family after court. That's why the family don't come out right after. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. See, we got some information. So he is allowed to speak to his family after the court. Thank you. Hey, Lay. Thank you. So he is allowed. So look at that. We got a little bit of information. So that's why when y'all see me out there and the family takes a long time to come out, they're probably getting a little word in with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I feel for those girls. I feel for those girls. I watched their videos. They got a good spirit. They look just like their mother. They can't help that what anything that's going on. They don't have a remote controlling what the adults are doing. None of the kids have a remote controlling what the adults is doing. You know what I'm saying? So they have their clothing line. You know what I'm saying? People are actually supporting them. They're not really looking at them like, okay, they're Diddy's kids, let's get them. No, they're actually supporting them. They're actually supporting them. They're beautiful girls. They have beautiful spirits. Girls who they're starting their own fashion line. I wish I could get an interview with them. Anybody got a link to the girls? I wish I could do an interview with them talking about nothing about the case, talking about the clothing line, promoting their clothing line. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could get an interview from them. Am I lagging? Am I lagging, y'all? Am I lagging? Or is it just them? Put in if I'm lagging or not, y'all. Yes or no? Am I lagging? No. Okay, if I'm lagging for you, go out and come in. If I'm lagging for you, go out and come in. So 127, they received a note from the jury, right? Juror 25 cannot follow instructions, right? And I would like to meet with the courtroom about it. So the judge says, I want more information, right? I'm trying to reach out to Lucci KO to see if you can get an interview. Oh, yeah. Because he was going to give me an interview out there, but it was so much stuff going on. He was getting pulled every which way. He started to give me an interview, but, was stolen from another girl. What was stolen from another girl? Wanda? What was stolen from another girl, allegedly? Not the clothesline. You saying that, well, allegedly. I don't know if she's talking about the clothesline, y'all. Wow. So, now, let's get back to it, y'all. So, juror 25 can't follow the instructions, right? Hey, what's up? All is well. Allegedification. Yeah, I don't know what she's, the name. Oh, the name was, allegedly. Oh, why is it always some mess? Well, they explained the name. They explained the name, and the name has to do with their birthdays, I think. The name has to do with their birthday. I think it's 12/21. So that's their birthday. So maybe they didn't steal it. Sometimes people have ideas at the same time, right? Sometimes, what's up, Mama Flip? Sometimes people have, everybody say hi to Mama Flip's in the building. Sometimes people have ideas at the same time. Like I said, is this a Rico or a Frico back in November? I had almost 1,000 people in the room when I said it, right? Now, back in last year in September, November, Nobody was at the courtroom yet. I was the only TikToker down there the first time that Diddy made an appearance, right? I didn't meet none of these creators yet. No one, right? But they're saying, is it a Rico or is it a Frico? Right? So maybe, sometimes people watch, and y'all told me too. Remember, now who was in here? I know it got people. We got 400 people in the room. I know I got somebody in here because there's always somebody watching. Who was in here when I said, is it a Rico or is it a Frico last year before court even started? And what did y'all say? Y'all said you need to put that on the t-shirt, right? And I said I should put that on the t-shirt. And then somebody else said, watch what you say, Miss Knockout. They're going to steal your idea. Do y'all remember that? And I got proof. But I don't care. They can have it. They can have it. They can have it. I'm not going to go back and forth. And like I said, it could have been two people thinking of the same thing at the same time. Right? But y'all also told me, Knockout was 1,000 people in the room. And this is the first time I went down to court. I had mad people in my room. They said, Knockout, they're going to steal your idea. Be careful saying your ideas online. And I looked at that. And now, because I got other stuff developing, I don't say nothing online no more. I don't say nothing online no more. You know what I'm saying? I had another idea stolen, but that's another story for another day. But I learned my lesson with that, right? So other people is claiming that they came up with the phrase, it's a Rico, not a Frico, right? But when Lucci was talking about the t-shirts, nobody said nothing. So how come you didn't say that you came up with the Rico and the Frico when Lucci was talking about the t-shirts? And shout out to Lucci. I'm with them on the t-shirts. Get your money, brother. Get your money. Get your promo. You know what I'm saying? I like Lucci. You know what I'm saying? I don't care that he did the t-shirts. And they can have it. But a lesson was learned. Be careful saying your ideas when you're online and there's people watching. Be careful. Duly noted. All right. So they gave a note to the judge and they said, Juror 25 can't follow your instructions. Judge says, I need more information. Prosecution says, may we have a moment to digest what your honor has approved. This is very sensitive, right? Diddy's lawyer says, I suggest that we just tell him. It is early. We just getting started. If there's a further issue, please let us know. So they're saying, let's just go explain it to him. Let's just go break it down to him. No biggie, right? Yeah. Y'all know, because y'all was the one who told me to be careful saying your ideas. And then I looked at it, and you know how your heart jumps because y'all was right? I was like, oh, I said it. I already said it. I couldn't take it back, right? But I learned my lesson, y'all. I learned my lesson, right? And I got receipts. I got the live, right? I could get the live where I said it. Back in September, November is when he made an appearance. Back in September is when he first got arrested, right? So Diddy's lawyer says, the prosecution says, may we have a moment to digest what you to propose. This is very sensitive. Then Diddy's lawyer says, I suggest we tell him it's early. Just explain it to him, right? Then the prosecution says, if we go that route, we suggest instructing the jurors that it's important not to include any information about what's going on in the jury room. Right? So they don't want to hear about all that arguing in the jury room. We just want to hear about what's going on pertaining to the case. Everybody get your orange heartifications like Rev. Everybody get your daily heart like Rev. All right? Everybody continue tapifying, continue sharifying. We're almost at 100K likeifications. Right? So juror number 25 says, I have a PhD in molecular, hold on. Go back. It's 1:48, right? 1:48 p.m. See if you can come to an agreed note. I'll come back at 2 p.m. and we'll figure this out. right? So, juror number 5 says, and I quote, I have a PhD in molecular biology. I listen to NPR. I like documentaries about climate change. My domestic partner, he is a graphic designer. That's May 5th, 5:16 p.m. Ms. Knockout got word for word over here. Ms. Knockout got word for word, and I got all 7 weeks word for word. Catch that T, right? October 3rd is the sentencing. October 3rd. While sitting and waiting for the case, R.C. Comey, prosecution lawyer, right, cited U.S. versus Baker, second. So okay, so that's something else. That's another. That's a example of a case that they're using. So if you know anything about cases, right, lawyers and judges all a lot of times refer to similar cases. So it'll be Baker versus this or somebody versus an act. The Mann Act. The Mann Act was developed from a case. That's the trafficking law, transportation laws, right? Trafficking laws developed from the Mann Act. Those are cases. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lay. Right? So everybody keep blessifying Miss Knockout, and I'll keep the information coming, right? Because right now, I'm with you guys. All right? So, do we have an agreed response? The judge says. Prosecution, no, we don't. Defendant, Ms. Slavic has emailed it to the chambers. The judge, do we have a defense proposal? Prosecution, Comey, it will be in Ms. Slavic's email. Ms. Slavic works for the prosecution. She's the one who made the closing remarks. All right? Judge, I would refer to having a neutral response like the government draft response. That's the one I'll use. I'll put it in the court's letterhead. Agnophilia, prosecution. There is no suggestion that the juror will not follow instructions, so our proposal will be more inert. Judge, I don't want to suggest to the jury that there is any particular time that they must deliberate. I don't want to tell them they just got started. So he said, I don't want to tell them, I don't want to rush them. They just got started, right? I'm going with the government version. We will print that out and send it. So he didn't go with the defendant's version of the instructions to the jury. He went with the prosecution's version. And this is one of the instances in which I noticed that the judge was, in my opinions, allegedly a little biased. Why are you going with the prosecution's version? What's wrong with the defendant's version? It's not much different. The defendant just made it easier for the juror to follow the instructions in a layman's terms, meaning in not legal's terms, not too complicated. But the prosecution wanted to leave it like they want to leave it. And the judge went with the prosecution. Right? Okay, so Sean Diddy Combs has been brought back into the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals at 4:49 p.m. Okay, this is the day of the deliberations, y'all. The day of the deliberations. His lawyers are gathered around him looking at a piece of paper. What is that paper? Is it the note? Is it this? We don't know. But they're looking at a piece of paper. The judge says, we have 2 letters, aka notes from the jury. And it says, if an individual asks for a controlled pharmaceutical and the person hands it over, thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you. Is it distribution? And the second one says that they will end at 5 p.m. So it's 4:49. They want to end it in 10 minutes because they're tired. They want to go home. Now, a lot of people are asking, why weren't the jurors sequestered? Right? They would have been sequestered for like a little over a month. I don't know. But in big cases like this, the jury is usually sequestered. I don't know why they were sequestered, right? So, Comey, the prosecution lawyer, says, we will respond to the question, but if the jury wants to leave, let's do that first. Agnifilio, prosecution, we have a response too. The judge, let's bring our jury out and I'll discharge them for the day. All rise. The jurors enter the courtroom. Everybody coming in, we're painting a picture. London, I love London too. We're painting a picture of everything that happened up to the verdict. And after we paint this picture, the days going forward, we are going to do what you loved, and that's read the transcripts. We're going to bring Danita back, and we're going to finish reading transcripts from Cassie, Capricorn, all the way down the line. All right? Do y'all want to hear that? Yes or no? Let's take a poll. Somebody make a poll. One of my mods, please. My fabulous mods. Ginger, Leah, Rev, Clip the T. All right? Let's make a poll asking, do you want to hear every single transcript? Because I got them. I got them. Every single transcript that went on in the courtroom. But we're going to bring actors. I'm going to bring actors and Danita. I want to bring Max. I like Max. I met Max out of the courtroom. I do want to bring Max, okay? And I do want to bring other content creators to read the transcripts with me. All right? You'll get the transcripts. You'll get the that day. You're not going to get all the notes. You're not going to get all the notes, all the formula, but you will get the notes from that day, right? And we'll go back and forth, and y'all like that. Y'all like that. Some people are saying no. Some people are saying yeah. Like, people want to know exactly what happened word for word in the courtroom. Because we're getting tidbits. We're getting notes. We're getting inaccurate stuff. I want y'all to know every single word that happened in the courtroom. All right? And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to repost it on my YouTube. All right. So, 4:49 p.m., the judge wants to dismiss the jury. Right? So did y'all do a poll? Somebody do a poll. The majority of the people are saying yeah. A few people are saying no. A few people are saying no, but the majority of people are saying yeah. Now, we got hot topics every day. So eventually we are going to move on to hot topics, y'all. Because this is what I do. I do hot topics and I do news and I do music. I do a lot of stuff. All right? So, let's see. So, per the jury's request, the judge says, per the jury's request, it's 5 p.m. now, so we'll excuse you for the day. And then he says, your question will answer tomorrow morning. I am not going to bring you into the courtroom. Tomorrow morning, you go straight into the deliberation room. Okay, you could come in starting at 9 o'clock. The poll's up. Vote, y'all. Do y'all want to hear the transcripts from day one reenacted by actors? That's the difference. So it's not going to be Miss Knockout just reading the transcript. It's going to be Miss Knockout reading the transcript with actors. I'm going to bring some of my acting friends, too, from my class. You know, I'm a studied actor. One of the people I studied with is Mark John Jeffries. He was in Losing Isaiah. Remember Halle Berry threw him in the dumpster? That's one of my mentors and one of the people who taught me about acting. I like actors. LOL, I'm with it. Yeah, I want to give other people... Look, Miss Knockout's about other people growing in exposure. One thing I'm not is a hater fire. You can say what you want about Miss Knockout. You can lie on Miss Knockout, but you cannot call me a hater. I've helped a lot of people and gave a lot of people information out there. And I'm responsible for a lot of YouTubers starting TikTok and explaining what it is. Okay, the poll's on the top left. Take the poll. Because I want to know, I want to do what y'all like. If y'all don't like it, then I won't do it. All right? So the judge says, Mrs. Comey, and then Comey, who works for the prosecution, says, I'll say prosecution Comey, and I'll say defense Driscoll, so y'all know who's who. I think that, so Comey says, I think the answers should say yes, then point them back to the instruction. Then Agnifilio, the Diddy's lawyer, I would like to, yes, 82% says yes, and 17% says no. So we got to go with the majority. The majority says that they want to hear the transcripts. And only 20% of y'all said no. So we rocking with what the majority says, right? Like I said, Miss Knockout got content for days. I'm not like this talking about, oh, come on, Luigi, ready to write the courtroom, talking about, can you push the Luigi trial up to August? Because I need some content. Can you imagine me writing Luigi's, the lawyer? Hello, Luigi's lawyer in courtroom. Can you push the date up? Because Miss Knockout wants to go back to the courtroom. No, these cases are going to take a year for it to come about. You know what I'm saying? So, the judge says, confer with the government and let us know by 6 p.m. if there is a good and agreed upon language. Okay? So now we're going into the second day of deliberations. Okay? Well, okay, let's see. All right, so let's continue on. So the Judge S says, Miss Comey, can we make sure that things has to be emailed or put in a docket? All the emails in the docket. Judge S says, I'm adopting the government's answer to the pharmaceutical distribution question. So that question that they asked about pharmaceutical, where's my glasses? Val said, where's my glasses? Let's get my glasses, y'all. Listen, see how y'all look out for me? See how y'all look out for me? My community ain't nothing to play with about Miss Knockout. Thank you so much. Where's your glasses at? I took one contact lens that I took out, y'all, because I left it in too long, and I got it out before my eye grew a baby out of it, right? So I do have one contact out. Everybody, check and see. You're about to lose your Subify subscription. So everybody re-Subify. We're going to have another sub brunch party, but we might do it on Saturday. So we'll take another poll, okay, to see if we're going to do it on Saturday and Sunday, because I hear a lot of people go to church. So we'll do it on a Saturday if you'll like. All right? So these glasses, hold on, y'all. Hold on. These are my reading glasses. Okay. So the reading glasses is no good, yo. So I'm adopting the government's version, he said. Right? See how the judge gets down? That's why that's my opinion. My opinion. I feel like Diddy didn't stand a chance with this lawyer. He's following the rules, but I'm sensing some biasness about him, even when I was in the courtroom watching. Okay? So, Driscoll, Diddy's lawyer, says, can we put something on the record about sole possession? This definition of distribution would mislead the jury. Okay? So, Driscoll, who works for Diddy, says that the version that they're putting in the instructions is gonna mislead the jury. Right? Is gonna mislead the jury. So you see, once again, you see? So he went with that version, right? I mean, the judge. Did I say that? What did I say? So Judge S said, I'm adopting the government's answer to the distribution question, right? And then Driscoll, who works for Diddy, says, can we put something on the record about sole possession? This definition of distribution would mislead the jury. So he's telling them what you're putting on a jury instruction is going to mislead them, right? And then Driscoll says, but, and then the judge says, hold on. I told y'all I got every word. Didn't I tell you I got word? The judge says, but, and then Driscoll says, hold on. The judge says both sides agreed to this definition. What is the objection? So what is it? Then Driscoll, Diddy's lawyer, said, 1 second. Then Aussie, Comey, prosecution says they are trying to mislead the jury. So the prosecution is pointing their fingers at the defendant's lawyers and saying they're trying to mislead the jury. So everybody's going like this. You're trying to mislead the jury with your instruction. You're trying to mislead the jury with your instructions, right? So they're in there going back and forth. Judge S, they have been specific in their question. And so, is this answer? And then he cuts him off. Driscoll says, Your Honor, can you just mark out defense the proposal as a court exhibition? And then the judge says yes. And then they adjourn. Then they come back at 10:26 a.m. Another note has emerged from the jury. It has yet to be read in the court, nor has Diddy been brought back in the courtroom from the holding cell. So Diddy, at 10:26 p.m., at this point, Diddy is still in the holding cell. He's not in the courtroom yet. For now, the lawyers are milling around. Combs' lawyers, Shapiro, Driscoll, Steele, Agnifilio, are all hunched over a laptop at 10:26 a.m. This is the second day that they came back for deliberations. 10:45 a.m. Mr. Agnifilio, Shapiro, Steele, Westmoreland, right, that's Donna, huddled back by the gallery. Also, Comey, prosecution, turns and confers with Combs, Xavier Donaldson, seated at the middle table. Door to the holding cell is halfway open. The U.S. Marshals are checking to see if it's time. Thank you, Lay. Everybody do what Lay is at. Everybody blessify Miss Knockout. We getting a lot of content right here. Everybody blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokified. All right? So the Marshals are holding the door open at this point to see if it's time to bring Diddy back in from the holding cell. The holding cell is right there outside the courtroom. 10:46 a.m., right? Sean Combs has been brought out, and his lead lawyers, Mark Agnifilio, thank you so much, Lay. Thank you so much, Michelle. The lead lawyer, Agnifilio, sends his lead lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, is talking with him. So Mark Agnifilio is talking with Diddy, right? Thank you. Michelle got a daily heart. Shapiro and Westmoreland, right, who is Donna, are working together on something on Shapiro's laptop, right? 10:54 a.m. I even got timestamps. Of when everything happened, right? 10:54 a.m. Also, Emily Johnson, so this is the prosecution, Emily Johnson goes back and hands a piece of paper over to Sean Combs' lawyers. R.C. Comey, prosecution, goes and sits next to Combs, Xavier Donaldson, and shows him something on her laptop. What are they showing each other? I wonder. 11:18 a.m. The judge says, we received a note from the jury asking for testimony of Cassie Ventura as to the Intercontinental and the Cairns incident and the Daniel Phillip exit hotel incident. Daniel Phillips' testimony on that as well. So they want all these testimonies. Why? Because they're trying to decide on something. They probably couldn't come to agreement, and they want to see more of the testimony in writing. R.C. Comey, prosecution, we have a disagreement. Judge, first let me know if either side minds me bringing the jury out and speaking to them. Comey, prosecution, we don't see a need. So the prosecution is saying, we don't see a need for you to bring the jury. Agnifilio, I've confirmed with Diddy, and we don't see a need either. The judge, as to any further note, let me know. All right. So this is This is at 11:18 a.m., second day of deliberations. Aussie Johnson, prosecution lawyer. We have a disagreement about the redirect, about the cans incident, and the events immediately following. The answer was, what happened to Diddy when he got angry? It's referred to the freak off that occurred upon landing in New York. So the jury had a question about what happened when Diddy got angry. Well, we all knew what happened when Diddy got angry, right? We knew what happened when Diddy got angry. Do we need any more lessons about that? Why do they need more lessons about that? I don't know, but this is what they're asking. Is it me, or is it seeming like they was trying to make sure the jury wasn't hanged? Dark and Lovely, yo, you hit my thoughts on the nose, Dark and Lovely. Pin that. Let's pin that comment. Let's pin that comment. That is a very good statement. I feel like, too, that they were given prompts to make sure the jury didn't come back as a hung jury. It's like they made sure of it. Because if one person can't agree, one person's not following instruction, one person is doing that, one person saying no, 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 the rest of them saying yeah, 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 that's a hung jury. So I felt like the judge and the prosecution, yes, made sure, going back and forth with the notes, that there was no hung jury in sight. And that's another reason why I said, allegedly, that this judge was biased. And biased. Any other case, they would have let the jury be hungification. But in this case, that's what I observed too, Dark and Lovely. They made sure that it wasn't a hung jury. Right? 11, okay, let's see. The judge says, I would like to cut it off sooner. Garagos, I have nothing to add. Prosecution, we may need to speak with the court about the Intercontinental. Judge, let my deputy know when y'all are ready and I'll come back. Adjourned. 11:58 a.m. Judge, I understand that there's an issue to resolve. Prosecution, I understand that during the break, the defense came up with an issue about Daniel Phillip. Xavier Donaldson, Diddy's lawyer. U.S. wants one more question and answer, and then we do. It's his. It's his later thoughts. Comey, prosecution. The answer is about the Essex Hotel incident. Prosecution, Johnson. On the Intercontinental Hotel incident, we think it's a day off. And after, not the days before. That's our position. The defense wants to include Miss Ventura's IG post from 2024. So in 2024, Cassie made an IG post that said it was all something to the effect of it's all about the victims. Good morning, little bit. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Everybody coming in, we're going play for play. What happened in the courtroom leading up to the verdict. That's what we're doing in here. All right? So, we included several messages from the hotel incident where they're talking about it. It's regarding the incident. It's important to weigh in whether Diddy coerced Cassie into commercial S on that day. So that's what they're getting at. That's why they're focusing on that. Right? Hey, Derain. The judge says the request for Cassie's testimony regarding the Intercontinental Hotel incident, how does something from 2024 regard it more than things that's closer in the time? So the judge is saying, what does something that she said in 2024 got to do with this? Why are y'all bringing that into this? Garagos, in 2024, that's Diddy's lawyer, She was responding to the video of the incident and also watching it here. Johnson, prosecution lawyer. She was asked, do you recall posting on Instagram in May of 2024? So they asked her that, right? They asked her that inside. Thank you so much, Deraine. Thank you. They asked her that in testimony. Does anybody remember them asking that? Does anybody remember them asking Cassie about her post in 2024? Well, we're going to remember. That's exactly why I want to do the transcripts. That's exactly why I want to do the transcripts, because I want y'all to get to know every nook and cranny and understand why the jurors came up with this verdict. Now, the jurors got their own mind, but I want y'all to know word for word, right? So, Garego said in 2024, she was responding to a video about the incident and also watching it here. Johnson, prosecution. She was asked, do you recall posting on Instagram May of 2024? And she wrote that domestic violence is the issue. But that's not what the jury is asking about. We like more on the Cairns incident. All right? We want more on the Cairns incident. Garregos, Diddy's lawyer. We think it should start with the first government exhibit about the intercontinental freak-off. Johnson, prosecution. If we get the laptop back, then we could load a searchable PDF. So they probably have a laptop that they share around the courtroom with all the court notes and the emails and so on and so forth. Judge, I agree some earlier and later messages should be given. What's left? Johnson, chat, please look at the poll. All right, look at the poll, y'all. Johnson, we like to include photos she took of her injuries and the message from March 5th. Garregos, that's Diddy's lawyer. Don't those fall in the same category? What would be the objection? Garregos, I have to maintain my objections to the photos. Prosecution, we don't think her testimony about her Instagram post is relevant. We think it's confusing. Judge, I think it can be included. Both sides has been reviewing it, and we will process it on this basis. So he is going to include that. So he's included her Instagram post, right, and response into the court exhibit. 4:15 p.m. After a long nullification, now Combs and Agnifilio, Steele, and Shapiro are back in the courtroom. Meanwhile, the U.S. Attorney's Office belated documents emailed to the judge, right? Prosecution, they put their hands on a paper to Combs' lawyer, Agnifilio, who passes it on. Driscoll confers with Westmoreland. Sean Combs will not be brought into the courtroom from the holding cell at this point at 4:19 p.m. 4:21 p.m. Sean Combs is brought in and stands with his hands in his pockets as Agnifilio speaks to him. His other lawyers come and huddle around him, and he sits down. 4:25 p.m. Sean Diddy Combs is seated and sitting, surrounded by his 8 lawyers who are talking, and he's looking down. His hands cross his lap. So he's sitting there, he's looking at whatever, and his hands across his lap. Diddy is seen rubbing his eyes with his thumbs and the other with his index finger. And his lawyers are continue to talking. Now Nicole and Xavier talking to him. I got everything, y'all. Didn't I tell you he's rubbing his eyes, thumb, index, everything, right? 4:30 p.m. Agnifilio goes forward, then returns and hands Diddy a piece of paper, and he stares at it. So he's looking at the paper, he's staring at the paper. 4:32 p.m. After talking to Agnifilio, Sean looks down again, resting his head on his right hand. So he's like this, looking at the paper. Okay? My girlfriend met Ken K. Look at my tic. Okay, that's cool. Right? So he's looking down, resting his head in his right hand. So the judge says, we received a note at 4:05 p.m. today. It reads, we have reached a verdict on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are unable to reach a verdict on count 1, and we have jurors on each side of the fence. How should we respond? Now, this goes back to the statement that was made that they were doing everything so it's not a hung jury. So if one person or people are divided on each side of the fence, that's a hung jury. It looks like it's my right hand, my left hand, because it's reversed inside the camera, Republic. It's reversed inside the camera. So when I put my right hand inside my head like this, it looks like the left hand because it's flipped. That's why. Okay? Yo are watching everything I do. I know it. Yeah, I'm using my left hand because the screen is mirrored. In real life, I'm using my right hand. This is my right hand in real life. It's turned around. All right. So, they said they reached a verdict in counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are unable to reach a verdict on count 1. As we the we have jurors on each side. How should we respond? Asa, Comey, that's the prosecution. We are preparing a modified Allen exchange. Agnifilio, Diddy's lawyer. We propose you tell them to continue deliberating and that you're not going to take the partial verdict. No modified Allen charge. Judge, would the defense request I bring the jury out to stay at? So they're asking, do you want me to tell them in their face? Right? Agnifilio, yes. I want you to bring them out to tell them that. Right? The judge, okay, email me your proposals on each side. I'll wait. I could give a modified Allen charge. Or at some point, I could tell them they can return a partial verdict. Email me. I'll wait. They take a break. Now it's 4:54 p.m. In the well of the courtroom, everybody but Donaldson is in their seat, waiting. Diddy is leaning back and his leg is crossed, and he does not look happy. Diddy don't look happy at that point, y'all. 5:01 p.m., right? I received each side's proposal. Mr. Agnifilio, there is no match there. Agnifilio says, we are not remotely at the place where the judge needs more to deliberate efficiently. They are remarkably efficient. They already have 4 verdicts. Judge, I wouldn't call the government's proposal an Allen charge. It reminds the jury of the instructions I previously gave on the duty to deliberate. I could simply recite it to the jury. Agnifilio, we're not at a point yet. We're not at the point yet. I'm saying we wouldn't be at the point on Thursday, July 3rd or Monday. Let's wait and see. I'm putting stock in that they have reached verdicts on all 4 accounts. The judge says I'm going with that, but I may have more later. The judge says I could tell them that they could return on July 3rd. We can arrange that. What do the parties think? So this is when, and I reported this outside, right? When they reached a partial verdict, but they said, no, we want you to come in when you reached all of the verdict. And then I think they had to come in another day. But let's continue. Okay? We could arrange for them to come in on the 3rd. What do the parties think? Prosecution. We like to give them the option to deliberate on the 3rd. Agnifilio. 1 second, Your Honor. The judge says yes. Agnifilio is, our preference is that you don't tell them now about Thursday. The downside is that the jurors might feel rushed to reach a verdict to avoid the Thursday issue. Let them deliberate tomorrow, and then you can ask at the end of tomorrow. That's kind of fair and smart, because that's kind of true. If he told them, okay, coming in Thursday, it's gonna change the way, like, their deliberation times, I feel. Okay, so the judge says, so the defense will have no objection to them deliberating on July 3rd. Agnifilio says no objection if they want to. Right? Thank you, I'm the real. Thank you. So the judge says, okay, let's bring back our jury. And the judge says, all rise, and the juries enter. The jurors come back in. Judge says, welcome back. I received your note that you have reached verdicts on counts 2 through 5. I ask that you continue deliberating, discuss and weigh your respective opinions dispassionately, and follow my instructions on the law. And the judge also says, I ask you to return to the jury room. If you decide that you're done for the day, send me another note, and I'll bring you out at the end of the day. The jurors leave. The judge says everybody could go back to doing what they were doing. They take another break. The judge says, we have received a note that the jurors had concluded for the day and resumed tomorrow. So remember, they never reached the verdict for that one thing that they couldn't agree on. They didn't reach the verdict about it. They came in another day. Okay? We'll bring them back tomorrow. All right. All rise. The jurors file back in. The judge says very briefly, thank you. Tomorrow, go directly into the jury room. Keep an open mind. Don't watch or read about the case, and we'll see you tomorrow. All rise. The jurors leave. The judge says anything, and everybody says no. Adjourned. All right? So, let's go into the next day. Okay? July 25th, 2025. It's verdict day. Okay, it's verdict day. And let's go through it. 9:15 a.m. Diddy is in the courtroom talking with his lead lawyer, Agnifilio. Also in the well is Shapiro and Donna and Driscoll, Steele, and the prosecutors are nowhere to be found. 9:30 a.m. Diddy is talking to his lawyer, Nicole, sorry, her name is Nicole Westmoreland, right? While 4 others of the lawyers huddle on the side. Hey, y'all, right? So the other lawyers huddle on the side, right? And Combs stands up, asking the marshals, is it allowed to speak to his family, sitting in the front row. Now back to the holding cell. So he asked, could he speak to him? I wonder, did they let him speak to them? Because I think that he could motion to him and send little heart stuff or whatever. I don't know if he could speak to him. I read he's not getting out. He's not getting out for now, Nikki. His sentencing ain't till October. So from now to October, no, he's not getting out. Now they might appeal. They might appeal the bail. We'll see. All right. So so Diddy goes back to the holding cell. 9:54 a.m. The only person at the 3 lawyers table in the courtroom is Combs' lead counsel, Mark Agnifilio. Purple ties, he got his purple tie on, working his phones with 2 thumbs, and then Combs' family has cleared out from the front room of the gallery for now. So they went out and they went and took a break. There is movement in the courtroom, and Diddy's lawyers have returned. There is word of a jury's note. Nothing is confirmed yet. 10 o'clock, 10:03 a.m. Word is given that there's a verdict in the U.S. versus Combs, and that's 10:03 a.m. They reached the verdict. 10:06 a.m. The prosecutors has filled the seats at the front table, and Diddy has not been brought back into the courtroom from the holding cell. 10:10 a.m. Diddy has been brought back into the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals, and he is seated with Brian Steele on his left, Garagos on his right, and his family in the second row of the gallery. Judge S., we have reached a note at 9:52 a.m., and it says, we reached a verdict on all counts. And that's at 9:52 a.m., right? Anything to address before we come out? And then the judge says no. The judge says, maintain order while the verdict is being read until we have the jury out. All right? The judge says, I'll ask our deputy to bring back our jury. Sean remains seated, and his 8 lawyers are standing up. And the judge says, all rise. Combs stand up, the jurors enter. The judge says, we have received your notes. Juror number 5, have you reached a verdict? Juror number 5 says, yes, we have. Judge says, is it unanimous? Juror number 5 says, it is. The judge says, please provide us with the verdict for the deputy. Give your verdict to the deputy. The deputy will inquire as to the verdict. The deputy, in the matter of U.S. versus Combs, count 1. Juror 5, not guilty. Deputy, S. trafficking of Cassie Ventura. Juror 5, not guilty. Deputy, transportation of Tatushin prostitution. Juror 5, guilty. Deputy, Jane, S. trafficking. Juror 5, not guilty. Deputy, transportation for Tatushin for Jane. Juror 5, guilty. See? So you see, and that's why we're going to go over the transcripts. Jane's testimony, somewhere in there, that felt like it was transportation. Judge, I asked the media not question the jurors about their deliberation. Jurors, can you contact our chambers? You gave up a lot these 10 weeks, and it was inspiring. You worked together, rain or shine. You answered all the calls of public service, and we should give hope. Judge, I need to address a few matters with the lawyers, then I'll come back and meet with you, the jurors. All rise for the jury. Right? This is play by play, bar by bar, of what led up to this verdict. This is what we're doing in here. Judge, I'll hear any application about a sentencing day. Agnifilio, he should be released. Agnifilio, he is no longer charged with S trafficking and racketeering. His planes have been chartered. It's in Miami. He does not have access to his plane. This is his first conviction, and it's not Pete Tatushin offense. He should be released. Didn't get released. Agnifilio, his family is here and could sign a bond. He should be released today to go back live and live at 2-Star Island. Judge, this is just coming up right now. I will hear the government in the matter. Are you proposing that he just walk outside right now? Listen to what the judge said. Let's run that back. This judge is biased. This judge was biased, y'all. Allegedly, in my opinion. The judge says this is coming up right now. I will hear from the government in a moment. Are you proposing that he walk outside right now? He's asking a question. They answer yes. Judge, you're proposing $1 million bond? Agnophilia, yes. And travel to Florida, New York, and LA. Comey, prosecution. The U.S. opposes his release. A person that's found guilty shall be detained until the judicial officer finds that he is not likely to flee or be a danger. Listen to what they said again. A person found guilty shall be detained until the judicial officer finds that he's not likely to flee and or be in danger. Meaning danger to other people. Me personally, and just my opinion, I don't think Diddy was going nowhere. Diddy ain't skipping his sentencing, because then he could never come back to America. You know what I'm saying? Is he a danger to people? Why would Diddy go around and keep doing stuff to people when he know he's being watched by everything and everybody? I don't believe that he would. Right? Prosecution. The defendant faces a maximum sentence of 20 years. Even while faced with this case, he assaultified Jane here in New York, preparing to surrender. So they're saying that him and Jane had a fightification while he was preparing to surrender. Right? The pizza boxes. Not the pizza boxes. Get rid of the pizza boxes. Yeah, we don't know what that is though. That could be anything. Right? So the defense is putting the bid in for him not to be released. Right? He had the prosecution also says, right? What's up, Nana? He had pharmaceuticals on him in his hotel room and was ready to commit the same offense. But that was before he was locked up. I don't believe that he would go through all this stuff and continue, recklessly threatifying witnesses, threatifying people that testimony and threw them under the bus. I don't think that he would do that. But that's just me. Nobody in their right mind would do it. Not after going through a case like this. What? Heck no. You're going to go somewhere and sit your behind down. I think Jane is supposed to be on 2020 tomorrow. Really? Yeah. Bieber said that he's not a victim. Y'all are still saying poor Bieber. Yeah, it is poor Bieber. It is poor Bieber because Bieber came out and said he's not a victim. His parents was with him 24/7. His parents was with him the 48 hours with Diddy. His parents were standing right there. And y'all are still saying Bieber is a victim. Imagine not being a victim, coming out saying you're not a victim, and people still calling you a victim. Now I do got anxiety. Now I am depressed. Now I do got problems. Because no matter what I say, y'all are going to keep saying I'm a victim. And I'm not. So yes, poor Justin Bieber. Poor Justin Bieber. See, Bieber is going to have this on him. Even he could come out and do a lie detector test and say he's not a victim. He could have proof that he's not the victim. And it's still going to be somebody out there saying he's a victim. See, he's probably afraid. He's probably got paid. Poor Justin Bieber is going to have to deal with that the rest of his life. There, they paid you off. You are a victim because I said so. Forget about what you did as yourself, Justin Bieber. It goes by what us, the public, says. And us, the public, says that you're a victim. Whether you like it or not, Justin Bieber, you are a victim. You got paid. And now he does have anxiety. Now he is. It's a problem. I feel sorry for Justin Bieber. I feel sorry for Justin Bieber. Because y'all are going to keep saying he's a victim and making up all these stories about it until he leaves this earth. So yes, I feel sorry for Justin Bieber. Everybody's not a victim. Everybody ain't get paid off. When they say Diddy party, it's not really y'all know that it's not really a Diddy party, right? Y'all know when they say Diddy party, it's not really a Diddy party. It's a freak to off with either Jane Doe, the E-workers, and Diddy, or Cassie, the E-workers, and Diddy. It's a private hotel session. It's not a party. No, they didn't expedite the sentencing. They didn't expedite the sentencing. The sentencing is on October 3rd. All right? So, the judge says, I'm going to resolve this seconds. I need to review the statutes. Mr. Comey, Mrs. Comey, do you have a case in which bail was denied after conviction under the Mann Act? Now look at what the judge asks. Look at what the judge asks. He didn't ask, do you have a case where the subject was released when he was found guilty on some things? He asked, and I quote, do you have a case in which bail was denied after conviction under the Mann Act? You may confer and come back to me. We plan to be here the whole day. So he want to review a case where the bail was denied. Because why? Because he's going to deny it. He knew he was going to deny it. It don't matter what Diddy is doing. Diddy didn't stand a chance from the start. Diddy helped them by doing stuff. He did stuff. So he helped them out. All right. So I'm aware of a case. So the prosecution says, I'm aware of a case involving little people, but we intend to raise relevant conduct at sentencing that involves pharmaceutical and violence occasion. Right? Hey, good afternoon, y'all. So they're saying that there's no little people involved in this case. The public keeps saying there's little people. We're a lot of little people. They weren't named in the case. They weren't in the courtroom. They weren't mentioned in the courtroom. There's no little people. But there's people out there still saying that allegedly Diddy had the kids. So why wasn't it in the case then? That's the first thing that would be in the case if it was a minor. He better start snitching on everybody else. Yeah, but he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. The judge gave him an opportunity to snitch. The judge gave him opportunity to snitch. And he didn't want to testify. Diddy could have easily got up on the courtroom and dropped dime on whoever he wanted to drop the dime on. And he did. He purposely went by the code of the streetifications. But he could have. He could have. Okay, there's an interview Diddy did where he sounded the alarm on oh yeah? Yeah. So Diddy could have very well got up there when they asked him, do you want to testify in this trial? And he said, no, Honor, I don't want to testify. All right? Nobody said he was a hero. We're just pointing out facts in here, legend. Every twist and turn of my voice, you're saying, oh, Diddy's a hero. Oh, you're supporting him. No, we're just talking about facts. Who said he's a hero? In what contents did anybody in here say that Diddy's a hero? I'll wait, because nobody said that. Nobody said Diddy was a hero. Well, up to the part where they're asking to give him bond. The judge says you want him to walk out right now. They says yes. The prosecution said no. I already knew that this judge was, when they said it, when they was going back and forth, right? When they was going back and forth, and they said they're deciding on bail, in my head, I already knew that this judge was not going to give Diddy bail. And he could be, it could be whatever. Diddy wasn't getting bail under no circumstances. He could be a role model citizen, prisoner. He could have this. We could remove the tape. Everything. We could remove all the charges. And Diddy still wouldn't have walked out of that courtroom. You know what I'm saying? we removed all the charges and he was found not guilty, they will find some kind of way to keep him in there. Trust me. Right? Miss KO is going over yes, we're going over the up to the minute that they reached the verdict, and we're at the moment in which they reached the verdict. Right? Nobody's saying Diddy is a hero, and nobody's saying Diddy didn't do nothing wrong in here. Okay? So stop spinning narratives. Not in my life. So it's about race. Nobody said nothing about race. Who said something about race? There y'all go, putting words in the people's mouth. Who said anything about black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican? Who said anything about that? Nobody. Y'all are just making up stuff. So it's about race. Where did anybody say it was about race? Where? Point it out. Point it out. When did Miss Knockout say, oh, this is about race? Never. Never. So stop spinning words. Like y'all going into those other chats spinning words. We don't believe you. You need more people. Okay? So the prosecution says that they're aware of cases involving minorification, right? But this is not involving minorification. So you can't use those cases. Because when you involve the little people, it's different. Right? So the judge says, I'll like letters from each side. When? Comey says in a few hours. Judge says, I think that makes sense. Diddy does not want to go back to the MDC. He is shaking his head. So 1 p.m. letters, and we'll convince in the afternoon. I'll let parties know when. I already knew that he wasn't going to let Diddy out. I don't care what Diddy did and did not do. This judge was never going to let Diddy out, no matter what happened. And he didn't. And Cassie's letter is what put the nail in the coffin. Agnifilio, he would be a fool, which is not, he's not. And he didn't violate any of the conditions. So he's saying, yeah, Diddy would be a fool not wanting to go back to the MDC. Right? So here's the letter from Shapiro. Here's the letter that he wrote to the judge concerning Diddy being released. Dear Judge S., Mr. Combs moves for release on appropriate conditions pursuant to 18 U.S.C. blah, 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 pending his sentencing proceeding. Given the juror's clear verdict acquitting Mr. Combs of the RICO charge and the S trafficking counts, continued detention of Diddy, I'm saying Diddy, they put Mr. Combs. I'm saying Diddy because we want to keep one word. Continued detention of Diddy is inappropriate. As these proceedings has demonstrated, and as we told the court from the onset of this case, Mr. Combs came to New York to surrender in order to defend against the government's charges because he was committed to showing his innocence. Since his arrest and detention on December 17th, 2024, Mr. Combs has obeyed the court, respected these proceedings, and has demonstrated model behavior at the MDC. And today, the jury unanimously rejected the government's allegations that Diddy ran a years-long criminal enterprise and engaged in ass trafficking. We can't argue with that statement because it's true. Like, what are they saying? What is the judge is? Yeah. So I don't believe Diddy was running nowhere. I don't believe Diddy was calling his goonifications to go get Cassie, go get Jane. I believe Diddy would have came out and stayed in his house, stayed in his lane until his sentencing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all having a whole conversation in here. What y'all talking? I'm gonna bring y'all up in a minute. We're gonna bring y'all up in a minute. What is Jill's 19? Jill's 19. We're gonna bring you up in the box and see what you're talking about. Okay? So the letter. Let's continue with the letters. So Diddy has respected the proceedings and demonstrated model behavior at the MDC. The court should release Mr. Combs on these proposed conditions. During the bail proceedings, the government argued that Diddy was a flight risk because he was charged with serious offenses and it carried significance. In some of the cases of they are mandatory terms of imprisonment. The circumstances have changed, right? So the letter is wrong. Okay. So they proposed this bail package for Diddy. $1 million bond, which the family was prepared, and he had it, of course, to put up. Co-signed by Sean Combs, his mother, his sister, and the mother of his oldest daughter. Okay, the mother of his oldest daughter, I believe, is Sarah. I believe that's Sarah, right? Mr. Combs' travel will be restricted to the Southern District of Florida, Central District of California, and the Southern District of New York to attend court and meet with his counsels, as well as the Eastern District of New York and of New Jersey, only to the extent of that is travel from New York involves an airport like an overlay or something like that. Thank you, Trisha. Everybody get your orange notifications up there. Everybody blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokified. You got a plethora of information there. A plethora of information. Everybody blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokified. All right? We spent about 2 hours talking about what led up to the verdict. No, he's not out. He's not out. Chat, KO, yeah, I'll be opening the boxes soon. We'll do a couple of battles first. Or we'll do battles. Should I do the battles at the end? Or open the boxes first? I should open the boxes first? Okay? So Mr. Combs' passport is surrendered. Okay? Pharmaceutical testers ordered by the courts, and the legal system can test them for pharmaceuticals, and all of the standard conditions of pre-trial supervision. Right? So then, a letter was submitted, right, from Jane Doe and Cassie's lawyers. So a lot of people are just saying Cassie's lawyers, but it's a joint letter from Cassie and Jane Doe's lawyers. Catch that tea. Is he still paying her rent? Inquiring minds would like to know, wouldn't we? Why do y'all think that he's still paying her rent after she threw him under the bus, over the bus, and paying for her lawyers? So technically, right? Thank you, creative. Everybody do what creative is doing to keep Miss Knockout coming here, giving y'all these hot topics. Everybody blessify Miss Knockout. So technically, right? Technically, if he's paying for Jane's lawyers, technically, he paid for that letter to be written against him. Am I right or wrong? If he paid, thank you so much. Thank you for the blessifications, y'all. Thank you for the blessifications. If he paid for Jane Doe's lawyer, right? He actually paid the lawyer to write a letter against him. That's wild. That's wild. That's crazy. That is crazy. So here's the letter from Jane Doe's lawyer and Cassie's lawyer. Dear Judge S., I am writing you to express my grave concern over the proposal of Sean Diddy Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout this proceedings, I feel compelled to be um, worried about the danger he poses to the public and to individuals who has risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long and well documented history of allegedly, everything's all alleged in here, violent behavior, coercive, and he retaliates, a retaliate behavioral sort of person. Over the years, he has been repeatedly he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time this has only been reinforced and of his sense of immunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt that he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or exposed him. Right? I don't know if Cassie has a restraining order against him. I mean, she doesn't need it now. She doesn't really need a restraining order against him. I don't feel like. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in the people around him. I could say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to the victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violentification, particularly while engaging in trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with the unchecked and substance pharmaceuticals, makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter society. Wow. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequences would be undermine the integrity of this process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield somebody indefinitely from accountability. Thank you for the share. Thank you, Cornelia. Hey, thank you for the sherification. Everybody sherified, just like Cornelia. Sherified. All right? Hey, Cornelia. Allowing him to come back into the community now will be a profound mistake. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to protecting the public from those who repeatedly demonstrate that they are unwillingly to respect the law. Now, some of what was said is true. You know, we have seen some glimpses of that. Right? But what's up, Fire Sign? Hey! Everybody follow Fire Sign. That's my girl right there. We knew each other before I came on the app from another place. How you doing? Fine, Cornelius. I'm doing fine. So everybody that's just went here, if you missed it, I'll put recaps up. I'm going to put some recaps up, all right, I did everything that happened in the courtroom leading up to the verdict, word for word, bar for bar. Now we're going to let you up. Everybody jump into the comment box. Everybody who wants to speak, that wants to give their input and put their 2 cents into the peanut gallery, which is not a peanut gallery. Miss Knockout is a big gallery. We got almost 600 people in here. All right? So jump into the box. All right? In the meantime, let's do a battle in the meantime. You want to do a battle while y'all jumping into the box? You want to do a battle? Let's see. DJ Danger. He got a 77 people. This. Nino Brown. All right. Let's do Nino Brown. Why not? We ain't doing that funny Mike no more. We ain't doing funny Mike no more. Because funny Mike, he be cheatifying. He be cheatifying Funny Mike, right? How you doing there?
Hello.
All right, so let's do a quick battle. And I want everybody to jump into the box so we could get to you after the battle. I want to see what you think. All right, everybody drop a five. Everybody drop a five. Let's get our nuggets back. We only got 3 wins. We had 20 something wins, right? But Funny Mike came up with his hands like this down on his doggone other device and he beat us. Why? Because he cheatified. So we ain't battling you no more, Mike, Funny Mike. All right? Because we would have, if we would have known, we would have whippified that assification. Everybody come on in. Let's run it up, runify it up, runify it up, runify it up, runify it up, y'all. Runify it up. And I want you to jump in the box, okay, which is the 2 people. There's 2 people at the bottom. It's a red man and a blue man. Jump in the box and I want to hear. You know I always give you an opportunity to speak. All right? We ain't battling you no more. Yeah, we ain't battling Funny Mike no more. Because he's the cheater fire. Everybody come on in. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Let's try to get our nuggets back, yo. Let's try to get our nuggets back.